It's time for a weekly pint of Pubdad facts. Enjoy. Did you know that the 17th president of Liberia, Charles D.B. King, won by a landslide, 234,000 votes, in a country that only has 15,000 registered voters? It's gone down in the Guinness Book of World Records as the most fraudulent election in history. Do you want to hear a horrific way to die? A proper medieval horror story.
Sure.
Well, in 1184, the German nobles decided to have, there was a giant squabble, so they had to settle this whole thing out in Erfurt. So they decided to hold it in this giant banquet hall, which was right above the latrine, basically a giant cesspit. So we're talking dukes, bishops, nobles, knights, all this proper fancy lot in this hall, squabbling away, and then the floor starts creaking, and whoop, they all plummet into the cesspit, full of thousands of people's poo.
Oh.
Yeah. Most of them died. How? Well, they drowned in human shit and pee. They drowned in pee and poo. So as hundreds of nobles, priests and knights plunged into poo and were drowning, some actually managed to survive by crawling over the drowning people, covered in God knows what. They did survive. But I'd imagine some of them didn't actually want to. But this is why you don't hold a royal meeting over a fucking toilet. Talk about a shit day in the office. Did you know that chin-strap penguins don't nap? They micro-nap.
Micro.
Yeah, for around 4 seconds at a time. But they do this 10,000 times a day, and it adds up to 11 hours of sleep. I wish I was a chin-strap penguin. You know, people say back in the day women had much more respect for themselves. They were so more modest. Well, did you know in the 1440s, Agnes Sorel had all of her dresses altered to show her favourite breast? Literally just hanging out, and it was the left one, for anyone who wants to know. What did the right one look like? One an innie, one an outie? Did the right one look like a Tom Brady football? You ever seen someone with one blue eye and one green eye?
No.
Well, that's called full heterochromia. Now, usually it can be caused by injury, but usually it's genetic, as the melanin in the eyes is all mixed up, so they become different colours. It's actually extremely rare. Only 1 in around 10,000 people have it, which means it's rarer than being born with 6 fingers. But back in the day, it meant some crazy shit. In medieval Europe, it was known as the witch's eye. 1 eye for the living realm and 1 eye for the dead realm. Ugh. In Norse mythology, people with heterochromia were thought to be chosen by Odin because he gave 1 eye, so it was 1 eye for war and 1 eye for wisdom. In Irish folklore, they believed heterochromia meant you were part fae or changeling, as in swapped at birth by fairies. That's crazy. In some Native American legends, it was thought that you were a bridge between this world and the afterlife. In fact, sailors at sea thought that different-eyed cats could see ghosts at sea. So if you got heterochromia, you could be just genetically different. You could be blessed, or you could be cursed. Ever heard of the Lioness of Brittany?
No.
No, well, back in the 1300s, Jeanne de Clisson's husband was murdered by the French. She was pissed. She sold everything she owned. She bought 3 ships, painted them completely black with red sails, full villain energy, and she went out and basically targeted all French ships, taking everything, killing everyone on board except 1 person, who she would release back to spread the word that the Lioness of Brittany has struck again. It's Brittany, bitch. So, because her husband got killed, she became one of the fiercest pirates known to man. She went full John Wick because the French killed her husband, and is now renowned as one of the world's most deadliest pirates. This one is for the Pirate Queen. Now, we all know Shakespeare was a literary genius, but was he a stoner? Well, in 2001, scientists found clay pipes in his back garden, tested them, and they had traces of cannabis. 8 pipes, traces of cannabis, 4 from his garden in Stratford-upon-Avon. Now, this doesn't prove he was blazing, but would explain why we got a Midsummer's Night Dream. Exactly, yeah. Now, he even writes in one of his sonnets, keep invention in a noted weed. Coincidence? Maybe, or maybe To smoke or not to smoke? That is the question. Jack Legs Diamond was a gangster in Prohibition, New York. He was called Legs because he used to be a professional dancer. And that motherfucker could dance. And he kind of needed to because people kept taking shots at him. In 1929, he was shot 3 times and survived. A year later, shot 5 times, yet again survived. So he was the original, 5 shots couldn't stop me, I took it and smiled. If you got that one. Yeah. The papers were calling him the clay pigeon of the underworld because people kept taking shots at him and missing. I know, what a great nickname. One night after he was attacked, he staggered into a boarding room, paid the doctors in cash after he'd been horrifically injured and was just like, "'Tis not but a scratch." By 1931, he'd survived 4 attempts on his life. And then one night he was in court, got away with horrific crimes, got acquitted, went home and went to bed in silk pajamas. And that was when someone got him. 2 shots to the head. Pop, pop! Pop, pop! But then, even people then were saying, if anyone could walk away from this, it'd be Jack Legs Diamond. But he didn't, he died.